to Kinks and Beats Daily. I am your host, Tony Fry. This is episode 187. Thanks for downloading. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're actually subscribed to this podcast. It helps us a bunch. And please swing by iTunes and leave us a 5-star rating and review. Not 4 stars. Why would you do that? We're 187 episodes in. Obviously, you like us 5 stars worth. Leave a 5-star rating and review over there, even if you don't listen over there. If you have an iTunes account, but listen to podcasts on Spotify, leave us a review over on iTunes, please. It's tremendously helpful in helping us reach a wider audience, which will hopefully bring us some cool guests for bonus episodes. And we do have some bonus episodes lined up, both for our financial subscribers and to just our general subscribers. You'll get your bonus episodes as well, but different ones. All right, today on episode 187, we're talking about a song called Hi, Hi, Hi. This might be a relative obscurity to some people. It was released as a double A-side with the song Sea Moon on December 1st, 1972, and reached number 10 in the United States. The track was banned in the United Kingdom for its sexually explicit lyrics, I'm using air quotes there, and its reference to getting high, which I guess Paul thought he could circumvent by misspelling the title. He spells it H-I-H-I-H-I, but it didn't work because, no matter how you spell it, when you sing, we're going to get high, 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 it's pretty obvious what you're talking about. This is a good blues rocker, though. Great vocal track from Paul, cool arrangement tricks. It is a pretty basic tune, though. And for my taste, there's a lot of extraneous guitar work. They've got like one guitar hard pan to the right, one guitar hard pan to the left, and then at some point there's like a third guitar that comes in, and all lead guitars. We're not talking rhythms and stuff. There's just a lot of lead guitar work going on here, and it gets in the way. It's like if you've got, 5 people saying brilliant things at the same time, you can't hear any of the brilliant things. And that's kind of what happens here. One cool thing about the verses of this song is that they start on a B chord, which by itself isn't particularly cool, but that's actually the 5 chord because we're in the key of E. And then the second chord is an E, or the 1 chord. So for the first 2 lines of the verse, it feels like Paul's going from B to E, or he's going from 1 to 4. 1, 4, 1, 4. But actually he's going 5 to 1. And then when he shifts to the A chord, all of a sudden the tonic is very clearly E. I can't think of too many songs that deceive like this while still maintaining a blues sound, but it's a cool trick that keeps it from sounding like a straight 12-bar blues. I'll play it for you here on my guitar. I don't know if you can hear Harrison in the background, but he's weighing in on today's podcast. So we start on the B chord, and they're doing just like a Chuck Berry shuffle. Then he shifts to 4, to 1. Right? That's it. So for that first little bit, because of the chords he's using and because of where he's laying the melody, it kind of feels like he's doing, like a 1 to 4, but he's actually doing 5 to 1. So it's a cool little trick. And except for one C chord that he plays twice over the course of the song, that's it for chords. I'm gonna get high, 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 the music on. Won't say bye, 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 bye till the night is gone. Gonna do it till you do it, gonna do it till you never give up. Gonna get high, 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 midday sun. Okay, that's it. That's the whole chorus. And that's every chord in this song is either A or E, A, or B. And then the parts where he does go to a C chord, it's just he's sliding up. You're high, high, high. We're gonna get high, high. song. That's the only part where he changes the chords, which is also a cool hook. After you've heard the same three chords for like 2.5 minutes, to throw that C in you is a cool hook. So, like I said, the entire track is built on 1-4-5 progression. It's not a typical 12-bar blues, but it's close, and it functions basically like a blues with that shuffle and those chords. The only thing keeping it from getting a bit tired is the variations in the arrangement. After the first chorus, the band goes into like a halftime instrumental break before returning to the main groove, and then after the second chorus, the band switches to double time. But the chords never change, just the groove. The song structure remains in place the whole time. And I think if he had maintained that same groove for the entire song, it would have not been nearly as interesting. And can we take a minute and talk about how good Paul sounds on this track? The lyrics on this track alternate between just cool generic rock lyrics and then kind of stupid. There is some laziness with Paul saying, "Let me show you my polygon." Like, if you're trying to be suggestive, that ain't it. Dropping geometry is not it. But Paul's delivery sells it. Whether it's the good lyrics or the weird lyrics, Paul's delivery on this really sells it. I think it's one of his best rock recordings of this era. This mid 70s, well, I guess this is still early 70s, but this coming right out of the Beatles, you've got like Maybe I'm Amazed, Monkberry Moon Delight, this track. As far as his rock vocals go, I think this is up there with that. It's just such a good vocal. The mix on the track, though, is a bit meh. I don't get the feeling that the recording lives up to the energy and volume in the studio when they were recording it. I'm sure when they were doing it live in the studio, loud, this song was just killer, and listening on the studio monitors, it was killer. And then it just loses something in the translation. The recording from Wings Over America, which is a live album, I think does the track more justice, and it shows off what a good rocker it is. Plus, there are fewer guitar parts getting in the way because, Paul can't play bass and lead guitar on this. So that eliminates one of the lead guitars. And then you've got I don't know who's playing what. I'd imagine it's Denny Lane on the slide guitar on the live version, which means that Henry McCulloch, who would have been the other guitar player at the time, would have had to have been playing the rhythm guitar part. So now it's basically, the live version is basically stripped down to one lead guitar, which I think serves the song better. And then the energy on that, because it's a couple clicks faster in general. And I love Paul introduces it, would you fancy a bit of rock and roll? Like, you couldn't have introduced a song more square, but it kind of works, It's part of his charm, I guess. I also like how Paul sings the "I'm gonna do it to you" early. We're talking about in the chorus here. He hits the logical downbeat of the phrase where it's like, "I'm gonna do it." Do should be beat one, but he's, I think, kind of hitting it like a beat ahead of where the band is. And it's obviously intentional because he doesn't correct it in later choruses or when he does it live. I mean, it might have been an accident that he decided to continue doing, but it was a conscious decision to keep doing it that way because he does it, forever like that. And I think it's a cool little quirk. This serves as a pretty good hook. I mentioned earlier that it was a double A-side with Sea Moon. Sometimes it's hard to believe that both sides of this single were written and performed by the same band. But nonetheless, Hi 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 was the hit in the US, and Sea Moon didn't do anything. It didn't chart here at all. In the UK, though, since Hi 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 was banned, the Sea Moon side of the single topped off at number 5. So Sea Moon did better in the UK than Hi 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 did in the US, but Sea Moon did nothing in the US. And I would wager that this was a double A-side because Paul had enough forethought to assume the BBC would ban Hi Hi Hi. Hi 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 is the logical A-side. If this is going to be a single, this is the logical A-side. Sea Moon is the logical B-side. This is not a Strawberry Fields Penny Lane scenario where you could flip a coin on which song deserved to be on the radio. Hi 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 is the obvious contender for the A-side, But if he knows going into it, they're never going to let this song be on the radar. This is 1972. You know, Lola got banned 2 years ago for having Coke in the title. You know, they had to re-record that. He knows what he can get away with on the BBC. I think he was hedging his bets, and putting this out as a double A was his plan B. And smart for him. He got a hit on both sides of the Atlantic. There's not much more to say about this. It's been released as a bonus track on Red Rose Speedway, which was the album that followed this song's release. That came out in 1973. It's a good rocker, not particularly innovative or earth-shattering, but it was preceded by the single, listen to this, it's preceded by the single Mary Had a Little Lamb, which I know I should hate, but that is the catchiest song on the planet. And it was followed up with My Love. So you've got Paul doing a nursery rhyme, Paul doing a bluesy rocker, and then Paul doing one of his most iconic love ballads, all back to back. Those are that's a trio of singles that really shows off Paul's range, for better or worse. You know, whatever you might think of Mary Had a Little Lamb, that is a part of Paul's range. And that's Hi, Hi, Hi. What do you think about this song? Let me know. Give me a call at 925-494-1739. I'm still looking for people, submissions on songs you've changed your opinion on. You can call that same number and leave us a voicemail. I want to know what your opinion was, what it is now, why your opinion changed. And leave as many voicemails as you want. If you've got a couple Kinks songs and a couple Beatles songs that you've changed your mind on over the years, for better or worse, you know, leave a separate message for each of them, so that I can kind of organize the bonus episode around that. If you'd like to get exclusive bonus material and just help this podcast out, you can swing by herohabit.com and contribute $4 a month to our podcast's support. And we have bonus stuff coming out there very soon. And of course, like I said before, swing by iTunes, 5-star rating and review. Swing by our new Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/kinksandbeats, and follow us on our new Twitter account at Kinks and Beats. All right, I will talk to you guys all tomorrow. Have a great day. This podcast is presented by the Hero Habit Podcast Network. Swing by herohabit.com today to comment on this episode and poke around our growing database of sports and pop culture news, reviews, and collectibles. Herohabit.com. Collect your heroes.